Hello and welcome back with another Gaming with Killatia, where we'll be taking a look at Cannon Brawl for the PC. The best way I can describe this game is Worms, but instead of turn-based gameplay, it's real-time strategy, and it surprisingly works well. The plot revolves around you saving your own kingdom from your evil uncle, known as Uncle, who is being helped by his dastardly little minion, known as Minion, because fuck it, you're not gonna play this game for the storyline. Why should we spend the time and effort to give these characters actual names? Like I said earlier, the gameplay in Cannon Brawl is similar to Worms. However, instead of being turn-based, it has many elements of a real-time strategy games, as you put down certain buildings to help you advance towards the level. For example, putting down a mining rig on top of a gold to collect money, and placing down cannons to hit your enemies with. And completing certain levels will unlock brand new buildings to use in future levels. And some of these levels, you can actually unlock new pilots to help you further into the game. And all of these different pilots have different abilities that can affect the way you play each level. For example, the princess can reduce the cooldown rate for nearby buildings. I prefer to play the prince myself more often because he can actually repair any buildings that he is nearby. But the biggest attraction to Cannon Brawl is the multiplayer, which not only includes online multiplayer, but also local multiplayer as well, so you can play with a buddy offline or online. And frankly, most of your replay value is going to come from the multiplayer, because the single player campaign, unless you're going to go on ahead and do the nightmare mode, it's going to take you around 2 hours, maybe a little less, to do everything the single player has to offer. Now, to be fair, I did have a blast playing online multiplayer, but I would have preferred having a much beefier single player campaign as well. I gotta say, I like the graphics in Cannon Brawl. The graphics are very colorful, looks great in 1080p, and just like a good Worms game, the environments are very destructible. The music, however, while not bad, there isn't really a whole lot of variety to it, but the sound effects more than makes up for it. The controls in Cannon Brawl are pretty good and pretty flexible, as you can play this game with either a keyboard or with a gamepad. I did play with the keyboard at first, and it worked out better than I thought it would. Very responsive, no lag whatsoever. However, I switched over to a 360 pad, and it just works so much better than the keyboard in my opinion. But like I said, very flexible, so to each their own. So would I recommend Cannon Brawl? Yes, I do. Now granted, the main campaign is kind of on the short side, but the solid gameplay and good presentation more than makes up for it. And the multiplayer is pretty fun as well. I would honestly prefer to play a very fun but short game over a very long but dull game. However, I would pay some money for a DLC pack that does expand on the single player campaign. Just something to keep in mind. My final rating for Cannon Brawl is a solid A. This is Killatia, signing off. Hope to see you next time.